On today's episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You, health crisis, finding hope and healing after a devastating diagnosis. The frightening medical condition that doctors told me I have to live with for the rest of my life. Plus, how Shannon has turned her diabetes around using food. And the makeup compact that my 13-year-old daughter convinced me to buy, and now I'm calling it the best thing ever. Episode 57 of What Your Friends Won't Tell You starts right now. Today's show is brought to you by the Salt Suite in Palm Beach Gardens. All right, welcome everyone to another episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You. And as you can see today, we are at the calming and the beautiful Salt Suite in Palm Beach Gardens. Thank you to Jaime Gonzalez and all of the Salt Suite employees. Jaime's the owner, for inviting us into their beautiful place. You can see our studio audience here just outside of the Salt Suite. We're going to tell you a little bit more about what the Salt Suite is, but this is the perfect location for what we are talking about today.
Absolutely perfect.
We are talking about health crisis. And we've been waiting to talk about this topic, I think, for a little while, because you and I both connect with this topic.
Yes.
But we were a little nervous because there's such a wide range of health crises.
Yes.
I mean, you can talk about chronic conditions and autoimmune, and something as devastating as a cancer diagnosis where, you know, there is no hope or there's little hope.
It feels like there's no hope.
And so we really wanted to kind of have a little disclaimer on this show.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to say this without crying, and I'm already crying. So this show is dedicated to a few of my very dear friends that are going through, to me, one of the most scary health crises is when you hear the word cancer. It's just simply terrifying. And these people are very dear to me. You know who you are, so I'm going to respect you by not saying your names. But that's one of the scariest things when you get a cancer diagnosis. And so we just want to be very clear with our audience today that this show is coming from a place of love and support. We want to add to your life. We want to add suggestions that can enrich your healing process. It in no way is meant to be disrespectful to the choices that you're making that are given by your doctors, but we just want to add, you know, some of the additional resources and some things that are a little outside the box. We're talking today about a book by Lisa Rankin. I always want to call her Lisa, but it's Lisa Rankin, Mind Over Medicine, which talks about the power of the mind and the attitude and advocating for yourself and things like that. So we are really just wanting to come from a place of love and support, and I just really want to shout out to you guys. I know that this has been difficult walking through this, and we are here for you, and we just want to bring enrichment to those resources for you.
You know, in this topic, actually, Jaime, the owner of the Salt Suite, she suggested this topic because she has MS, and it's a condition that she's been dealing with for a while, but she's really found a way to alleviate her symptoms, and I think that's kind of where we're going with this, that, you know, there are no cures for a lot of these issues that we're going to talk about. In fact, most of them, there are no cures. But there are ways to ease the effects, to ease those symptoms. And we really are coming from a place, a spiritual place, that your mind has a huge impact on how you deal with this. You know, I said that we had wanted to talk about this for a while because about 9 years ago when I had my son Trace, I was leaving the hospital the day taking him home, and I looked down, and they're wheeling me out of the hospital, and I looked down, and my left leg is 3 times the size of my right leg. And I said, what's going on? You know, it was scary. It was so scary. And they actually sent me home, believe it or not, and said, call your doctor if there is a problem. Well, I went home and with my newborn, and came back to the emergency room in the middle of the night because my leg was completely swollen and red. Turns out I had a blood clot.
Wow.
And it was something that then I had to deal with for the next 2 years. And if anyone has had a blood clot, you know that basically you're told that you're going to have to be on this awful medicine. They put you on what is basically rat poison. And if it's not that, it's a shot you have to give yourself in the stomach. And so I was told that I was going to have problems with my leg for the rest of my life. I was going to wear compression stockings. I was going to be on blood thinners for the rest of my life. And about 2 years into that, I decided that I was not going to live like that. And so it's how I found yoga. And I talk about yoga all the time, but it was the only exercise that I could do with my leg that did not make it swell up.
Wow.
And it was the heat from the yoga.
Wow.
So apparently heat is a natural blood thinner.
Wow.
And so today, you would never know that I have a problem with my leg. I'm off all medication.
No.
I still do yoga because it just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But, you know, listen, people laugh at me and they're like, yoga's not the solution to everything. Well, I think it is. I believe that it is. But, you know, I know it's not the solution for everyone, but I will tell you that you have to find what works for you and what's right for you. And it did.
Well, there was 2 ingredients there, though, Suzanne. The first ingredient was yoga. The second ingredient was, I'm not going to live like this. I don't accept what you're telling me, and I'm going to try to find another way.
Right.
So that's very powerful. And boy, that's terrifying. I can't imagine how difficult that was.
Well, and I think you have to realize that doctors are used to the percentage.
Yes.
They're working around percentages.
Yes.
And yes, I think, you know, probably a high percentage of people who come into them with blood clots in their leg are going to be on blood thinners for the rest of their life.
Absolutely.
But for me, I knew that I didn't want to be the percent that had to be that person.
Absolutely.
You know?
It was terrifying.
Right.
And you just had a baby. You had a lot of reasons to live. And knowing Suzanne as well as I do, you know, one of the things you had shared with me is that they said you would never be able to fly again. You'd never be. And I'm like, I'm listening to her story the other day. I'm like, really? Because you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So how wonderful that was able to be your experience. And I had a similar experience because for me, I come from a long line of diabetes. And I'm not talking about like a little bit of diabetes. I'm talking about I have a half brother who walked in at the age of, I believe, 52 to the ER, collapsed and died on the floor from ketoacidosis. So he did not know he had diabetes and he found out by dying. Wow. I have another half sibling who lost legs and then went on to pass away from diabetes. So here I am kind of meandering through life, feeling good, getting my Chick-fil-A and my Starbucks and my Chick-fil-A sauce. Because you know, you can like, the Chick-fil-A sauce is so good, like you can dip paper in it and it's just like, I really just get the sandwich as the venue to get the sauce in. And so I was having one of those days and I just kept feeling sicker and sicker and sicker. And I had an endocrine doctor for a thyroid situation and she said, hey, by the way, you're pre-diabetic, you're insulin resistant, you're glucose intolerant, like you're not good. And I'm like, what are you talking? And of course my response was, I don't even eat sugar.
As you're dying with the Chick-fil-A sauce on that thing, right?
I'm not a sweet person, but I didn't realize how much sugar is in your Starbucks. Take a look at that number. So I was just getting sicker and sicker, and a couple of my best girlfriends said to me, well, just go off sugar. And I was like, oh, that's a thing? And they're like, yeah, we do it all the time, right? So I went off. I literally was so sick that I couldn't function. And I was 25 pounds up. And the next day I made a decision. I read, you should have seen me in Publix. That was a long Publix trip. I mean, I read every single thing. One thing of sugar, put it back. I had no sugar. I read every label. And then I went out to dinner because I love to eat out. And every time I went out to dinner, I got the chef. And I said, I'm pre-diabetic, I need no sugar. I said, come up with a fun sauce with no sugar in it. I challenged every chef. I was off of all sugar for 2 years. Wow. I dropped 20 to 25 pounds within 3 to 4 months. And today I'm happy to report that my A1C is normal. I just saw my doctor last week. She's like, your A1C is normal, you have a ton of insulin, you're good. So I have a new endocrine that I adore. My last endocrine, when I started dropping the weight and I started feeling better than I've ever felt in my life, like my energy went through the roof. I was thin. I was doing Zumba 4 times a week. I mean, I felt like $1,000,000. And I went to my doctor who had given me vitamins and stuff for glucose intolerance. I said, why didn't you tell me to go off sugar? And she said, oh, nobody does that. Nobody does that. She said, nobody listens to that. Nobody's going to go off sugar. And I said, but it saved my life. I said, it's life-saving. She said, nah, nobody does that. And so this is what we're talking about today, that there's great doctors and they have great guidance, but they get so used to the standard that they don't even consider some things like that. And I just feel so grateful today that for the most part, my sugars are stable and I don't worry about it. And for those of you that are like, I can't lose weight, I have maintained the same size for 3 years.
Yeah.
Which, you know, people go up and down.
Just so you know, there is a lot of sugar in wine. Because that's my problem.
This is not the diet for you. This is not the diet for you.
I'm like, okay, go off sugar, all right.
I'm going to create a sugar-free wine.
Yeah, well, there is that Skinny Girl wine, which I think has less sugar, but I just don't think it's not as good.
No, it's probably not as good. But I will tell you, this is important to let people know. This is about sugar addiction. Like for me, it was sugar addiction. And one thing people don't realize, when you go off sugar, the cravings stop.
Yeah.
About 4 to 6 weeks, I don't even want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it anymore. The only thing that looks good to me still is the coffee that's filled to the brim with hazelnut or some kind of sugar. But otherwise, I don't even want it. No, I don't crave it at all.
It's like anything. I mean, they say, what is it? They say like 27 days to break a habit. I think it's anything.
Well, 90. It's 90. 90 days to break a habit.
Let's go with 27, Shannon. I like the 27 number.
27 days offline. I don't know. I still had the habit. It's the craziest thing. It's 90.
I don't even think I could go 27, to be honest with you. All right. Well, you know, we're going to open up Shannon's toolbox because Shannon always has amazing tools and resources. And some of these are really, no matter what we're talking about. And I know that a blood clot and, you know, being pre-diabetic are much different than having a terminal illness. But some of these resources will fit all of that. And so Shannon's going to open up her toolbox and have Shannon's tools coming up next on What Your Friends Won't Tell You. Stay with us. Imagine a place where you can heal your body, relax your mind, and get better sleep just by sitting in a comfortable, calming atmosphere.
Welcome to the Salt Suite in Palm Beach Gardens.
The Salt Suite halotherapy rooms are carved from 24,000 pounds of salt imported from the Dead Sea. Minerals in the salt are known to detoxify and heal, helping people with chronic respiratory and skin conditions, including children suffering from eczema and allergies.
Clients at the Salt Suite are finding that they sleep better, breathe better, they're not aggravated by allergies, their asthma as much as they are normally, and they're staying off so many pharmaceutical drugs.
Totally clean mind.
Jaime Gonzalez opened the PGA Boulevard location in 2015 after being diagnosed with MS. She wanted to create a place where the community could come to find answers and heal.
The best part about opening the Salt Suite for me has been such a community that we've built. It's amazing to see people become friends with each other and share, you know, different remedies and really just support, you know, moral support, especially with the moms, because their kids, it's agonizing to watch your child not be able to breathe. Kids play in the salt, they have a great time, and they find that then they can start limiting and using less medication.
Come experience the healing environment of the Salt Suite in the shops at PGA West today. 561-316-3105. Shannon and I started What Your Friends Won't Tell You because we wanted a way to put out good content in a raw and authentic format. We don't script our shows, and we are pretty honest about what's going on in our lives and the mistakes that we've made in the past. You know, we want these shows to bring you joy and the feeling that you're not alone and that you can handle life's challenges with grace and a little bit of humor. But we also want this show to succeed. So if you own a local business and would like us to bring What Your Friends Won't Tell You and all the social media exposure that comes with it to your business, or if you want to support us through advertising, contact me, Suzanne, at WYFWTY.com. That's the acronym for What Your Friends Won't Tell You. That's Suzanne at WYFWTY.com. Thank you. Welcome back to the Salt Suite in Palm Beach Gardens. You are looking at the adult room, the adult halotherapy room, which, as we said, is carved from 24,000 pounds of salt. Wow. There's salt on the floor. There's salt on the on the walls.
Oh my
you
God.
rub up against salt when you walk into the thing. So, but they give you these little socks you walk in with, and it's very calming, and you get headphones. It's such a beautiful, calming space here at the Salt Room. They have a kids room too. We're going to show you that coming up. So thank you to Jaime Gonzalez and the Salt Suite for welcoming What Your Friends Won't Tell You. And today we're actually talking about a topic that resonated with Jaime because she has been dealing with MS. And so we are talking about health crisis. And if you are dealing with a health crisis or know someone who is, first of all, I think listening is a really good tool to tell people, right?
Yes, yes.
And not only listening, but listening to your body.
Yes,
right?
definitely. The book that we're going to talk about, the resource, talks about getting clear on that your body can speak to you. And she even talks about having your body write a letter to you about what's going on, but really getting quiet. And I have to tell you, that really speaks to me, having had some health issues over the past few years, and trying to figure out which thing's kind of causing which thing, and really having to get quiet to be able to figure out what's going on in my body. So I really do agree with that concept. Yeah. But when we're looking at tools, when you get a diagnosis or you have a health crisis, what immediately happens is the physical diagnosis comes, and then within moments, the emotional experience, right? And if it's a diagnosis like cancer or autoimmune disorder, something that feels more permanent. Now, cancer may not be permanent. My mom's a breast cancer survivor, and that's wonderful. But those kinds of diagnoses, oftentimes they will trigger an instant grief process. Oh my gosh, my life is changing. I have an autoimmune disorder. I won't be able to do this. I won't be able to do that, So an instant grieving process. So obviously you're going to be going to your medical doctors to deal with the health crisis, but please, 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 the first tool from the toolbox is that you absolutely need to get emotional support. Run, don't walk to a therapist. I also want to say that if you have a cancer diagnosis, depression can get very, very difficult and very real very quickly. And I don't want you battling depression. And then the other thing that comes is anxiety. And Suzanne, both you and I have had moments of anxiety in our lives. When you have anxiety and a physical symptom, here's the circle that happens. You have the symptom, then you get worried about the symptom, which creates anxiety. Now, ironically, anxiety can create physical symptoms like heart palpitations, dizziness, lightheaded, right?
You're ringing in the
ears, palm sweating. So now the anxiety creates a physical symptom. The minute the physical symptom comes, you get anxious. So now you're in this circle. So the second resource under emotional support is a psychiatrist.
Someone who can prescribe medicine.
So that you can get a little bit of help with the depression, with the anxiety, and there's some antidepressants that have an anti-anxiety component that are very powerful, so you can take one pill, feel calmer, remove the depression. And the third thing about that is getting to a support group, cancer survivor support group, autoimmune disease support group. Nowadays, not only do we have support groups that are located all over the county, but you can go online.
Yeah, there's Facebook groups for everything nowadays.
Right from your own home. So get the emotional support and information about depression, anxiety, and how that contributes to your illness.
Yeah. The second one is exploring all the angles of healthcare, correct?
So absolutely you need, I'm so grateful for my endocrine doctor and specific doctors. If you have cancer, your oncologist is going to be invaluable, but also recognizing that there's so many other pieces to this puzzle. Like, anybody going through cancer immediately changes their diet. So diet, getting a nutritionist or reaching out and learning about that. Exercise, look at what your story is. Exercise totally changed the outcome for you on this. Meditation, when you're anxious and you're struggling with a medical thing, meditation is invaluable, right? And alternative medicine, we're sitting here, right? In an alternative medicine type place. The Salt Suite provides, an alternative way to help your lungs and to help with allergies and asthma and all those things. So, to look at it from every angle.
And I would say, under this as well is not looking at things you're just digesting physically, because I think that's a huge thing, what you're putting into your body, but also what you're putting into your mind. I will tell you that since I have stopped watching the news and putting that into my brain every single day of my life, my anxiety has come down significantly. So I would say that it's not just what you're putting into your body, but also think about, you know, who you're surrounding yourself with, what kind of shows you're watching, you know, what situations you're putting yourself in. I mean, that is a huge component. That's a huge component. Stress. Yes.
What are your stressors?
Right.
Is TV stressing you? Are your friends stressing you? Those stressful environments, you have to remove those.
Right.
You have to remove them to the best of your ability. You can't like kick out your husband and get rid of your kids. But
well, you could.
You could reduce your stress. You could have like quiet time several hours a day.
And the final one is be your own advocate, which is huge.
This is so huge, just like
especially
for you.
if you're a people pleaser like me and you just want to, you know, you want to please the person that's telling you that, you know, there is no hope, you know?
And the power that physicians have, the power that therapists have, what people tell you really resonates. So under being your own advocate, the first thing, you must have a doctor that believes in you and believes that you can heal, that speaks positivity over you, that says, you know what, you can get better. You know, yes, the statistics are 10%, 20%, but that means, right, if it's 80% struggle, 20% make it, 20% thrive. You need the doctor that believes you can be the 20%. That's really important. In addition to that, you need to have a doctor that's open to collaboration, right? Because there can be some rigid doctors that don't want you to vary from this is what we're doing, don't do this, don't do that. And so you never would have gotten better. If you just believe, just do this, just do that,
just
don't do that, don't do that, right? So you have to have that. And the third most important thing is you have to believe you can heal. And that's what this whole book is about, is the power of the mind and believing that you can make a difference. And I will tell you, going through ups and downs with health every day, waking up saying, I will get better, I will heal, like really believing that is very, very critically important.
And we have some resources too that are really good. And Shannon keeps mentioning this book, and it really, I first read about Lissa Rankin. I believe she had, I want to say she had breast cancer, but I don't know that for sure. But she wrote this book, and you say she's an actual medical doctor.
So her story, her father is a doctor, and he died of cancer. And she is a doctor, and she got into the field of medicine really believing in it because of her father, and then kind of looked around and went, what is this? Like, I don't like this. So she went and did research, New England Journal of Medicine research on the power of the mind in conjunction to healing. People that received placebo knee surgeries where they made 3 cuts, but they did not operate, were doing better after surgery than the knee surgery patients, and never had complaints again because they believed that they had been operated on.
They believed they were healed.
Unbelievable. So the power of the mind, and certainly not in all cases, but she talks about, you know, listening to your body, writing a letter to your body about what's going on, really getting quiet so you can hear what's going on, and just all the contribution you can make with your attitude, emotional support, stress level, all the things we're talking about. And of course also doing the things that medicine tells you to do, but without this, that what she shows is the people that had a good prognosis but didn't believe, or had somebody be a naysayer in the beginning and they ingested that, actually would die when they shouldn't have, right? So
and
powerful
speaking of that surgery component, you know, I think that surgery should be your last option. I really do believe that. And a lot of doctors will push you to, hey, you need surgery. I mean, I have no ACL. I had a skiing accident. I thought I was really good going down those slopes. So I was like, yes, 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 fall. And then it wasn't good. So I have no ACL on my left knee.
Wow.
I was told that really all I could do was surgery. But I could still walk, and I did 3 months of physical therapy. And I was like, I'm not getting surgery. I'm not a professional football player or basketball player, and I can still walk and do my yoga, and really that was
enjoy your life.
Yeah, and enjoy your life. So really think about those things. You know, I would say exhaust all your options before you go under the knife.
Definitely.
And the one resource that I had that actually my mom gave me this, it's by Deepak Chopra. It's called The Healing Self. And you know, when we were talking to Jaime from the Salt Suite about this episode, she, her whole thing too is prevention. And that, she says, you may have smoked for 30 years and you can't change that, but you can start where you are today.
Yeah.
And that's what
Absolutely.
this is all about kind of, what you can do starting today to heal yourself. And so this is by Deepak Chopra, and it really is a really easy read. It's not like, a medical book that you're like, oh God,
Yes, not
but it's
stressful.
an easy book. So check that one out as well. All right. The best thing ever. Yay! The best thing ever, believe it or not, is courtesy of my 13-year-old daughter. Yes.
Our greatest teachers, our children.
You can learn something from your 13-year-old. A lot.
Yes.
So that's coming up next on What Your Friends Won't Tell You. And we today are dressed by
Periwinkle, yes.
again
Oh,
in
love it.
Delray Beach. So
Yes.
thank you to Periwinkle and Delray Beach on Atlantic Avenue for giving us these amazing outfits once again.
And
go ahead, Shannon.
bling,
Tell 'em.
bling, bling.
We got bling.
So Hamilton Jewelers outfitted us in our jewelry for today. I have to say, I feel very fancy.
You are. You're really
I do. I
blinged
feel
out.
very fancy. I am. I almost wrecked the car driving because I was just looking at the ring and not the traffic. So this is Hamilton Jewelers. They have a site in the Gardens Mall as well as on Worth Avenue in Palm Beach. And Joanna is one of my dearest friends, and she will get you all set up.
Yeah, and we don't have a bodyguard here today, or do we?
No. Well, yeah, we do.
I feel like we need a bodyguard.
We definitely have a bodyguard.
All right, the best thing ever is coming up next. Stay right here on What Your Friends Won't Tell You. We'll be right back. Ocean West Property Management was born out of a love for people.
Hi, Barb. How are ya?
The owner, Diane Evans, has spent her entire life in the hospitality business in Southern Palm Beach County. Her parents owned the Delray Arms Hotel, where Crane's Beach House now sits in downtown Delray.
My parents purchased a hotel here in Delray back in 1983. It's the year I graduated high school, and I just kind of followed them, and I was with them the whole 20 years that they ran the hotel.
Diane specializes in helping South Florida condo owners make money on their property by turning their vacant homes into vacation rentals.
If a owner is looking to rent their property out and they want to get the most for their money, I can do that. It's no problems. We make sure everything's done from start to finish. We take care of everything. You just get a check in the mail once a month.
Ocean West Property Management handles every aspect, from marketing your listing to handling the payment and making sure your guests are comfortable and have everything they need.
These single-family homes and the condo units, they rent out very well.
Many of her guests return year after year because customer service is Diane's #1 priority. Ocean West Property Management handles all of your property needs, from managing luxury properties, condos, and beach rentals to home checks. There is no service too big or too small. Call Diane at Ocean West Property Management and start making income off of your home today. 561-632-6521. What Your Friends Won't Tell You is committed to authenticity. That's why we're only taking you places that we believe in, places where we visit, where we shop, where we know that they're going to treat you right. All right, so when you first walk into ACP Home Interiors, the first thing you'll notice is that it feels like home. And I wish there was smell-o-vision in here because it smells delicious. It's the candles. And these candles are the best that I've ever used. They last forever and they smell delicious. Now, obviously, they have, as you can tell, stunning furniture here at ACP Home Interiors. In fact, my entire house is furnished by ACP.
We're giving people something that they can actually touch, they can feel, and that they can enjoy. And that they say, that is exactly what I want to bring it home now.
What makes ACP special is that we have different things every time you come in this store.
People walk in the store, the first thing they say is, what is that smell? Your store smells amazing. Which candle is that? What fragrance is it? It's a mixture of scents. However, when you get one scent that you really love, the lines that we sell, you become addicted. They're fabulous. They're fabulous, and they're lines we've carried for a long, long time.
We go on shopping trips worldwide, so you'll always find something unique in the store.
We really work primarily out of our store because we're a one-stop shop. We have everything from lighting, rugs, bedding, everything that you need in your home. So we can pretty much get it here. If we don't have it in the store, most of the times we can order it.
By far, though, one of my favorite things in this store is the bedding. I mean, check this out. It is luxurious. It's American and European made, but it's also comfortable and cozy and very clean looking. And the best part about it is it's washable. So don't forget to support your local businesses, shop local. All right, and we are so excited that we have a studio audience today here at the Sol Suite in Palm Beach Gardens. You still have some time to come check us out if you want to swing by PGA Boulevard and Central Boulevard. Thank you to Jaime Gonzalez and the rest of the crew here at the Sol Suite for hosting us today. You have a beautiful, beautiful location, and you are wonderful hosts. So thank you, thank you. So come and support the Sol Suite. That's what we ask. Come and support our supporters here at What Your Friends Won't Tell You. And a really quick note that tomorrow I am on the board of Take Stock in Children. As you know, we provide college scholarships and mentors for low-income, deserving students. And tomorrow is our big fundraiser. You can't register anymore. The registration is closed, but you can donate. And there's a What Your Friends Won't Tell You team. Shannon and I are walking, and some of our friends and family are walking tomorrow. We're walking, Shannon.
Yeah, very slowly. Yes. She promised we have hours to do this.
So you can still sponsor our team. You can go donate. All the donations pay for college scholarships for these students. So you can go donate at stridesforeducationpbc.org, and you can go check out any of my social media or the Take Stock in Children social media to check out that link if you still need it. So thank you. If you would like to support us, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for the best thing ever. And this is courtesy of my 13-year-old daughter. 13-year-old daughter, yes.
A child had to direct us how to do our thing.
I
It's
know.
not the first time, Suzanne, and it will not be the last.
Okay, so I was on the air for 25 years. I have done my makeup. I did my makeup myself every day for 25 years. And I thought I knew all the tricks and everything. But my daughter was like, you don't have highlighter.
Yeah, and we said
and
the
I
same
said,
thing.
What's highlighter? And so she took me to Ulta and she picked out this compact for me. And she said, this is perfect for you because it has instructions and it's got it all right here. So this is the bronzer.
Yes. Goes
This is the blush, and then this is the highlighter.
Goes
okay,
here,
and so it goes here, and some here. But it's called Sweet Peach Glow,
and it smells
by Too Faced, and it smells like it smells peachy.
It does.
And I've gone through 3 of these now, so it just goes. So here's the before and after. That's without makeup and then with makeup. And it's kind of hard to tell with the highlighter, but do you see my nose, how kind of it looks a little bit brighter?
Yes.
That is the highlighter.
Yes.
And it also gives you really good cheekbones. So
I have it too.
And so Shannon went out
I had
and
to go
bought
buy
it.
it if it's the best thing ever. Duh.
You can buy it at Ulta. I'm sure you can get it at other like Sephora and other places. But it's not
fun.
It's not cheap. It's like $45, I think, right?
I just closed my eyes and swiped. It's part of the show.
That's amazing. But if you want yourself, if you want to be like a 13-year-old and go get to use some highlighter, I would suggest this compact. So that is the best thing ever.
It smells really nice. I do
does
find myself
smell nice.
smelling it while I'm
I
doing it.
know. I
It
can't
smells like
imagine
peaches.
what artificial things are in there.
Yeah,
but
it's awful for you.
Oh well. All right, and now let's take a quick look at the. I want to take a quick look at the children's room here at the Salt Suite.
That's
so
really
you
cool.
saw the adult room before. This is the children's room. And a lot of my friends have children who have asthma or allergies or eczema, and they bring them to the Salt Suite, and the children just play in there for 45 minutes, and a lot of these kids are able to get off their medication. Now, it's not a cure,
But
we're talking about it's not a cure, but it eases their symptoms, which I think is huge when you're talking about allergies and asthma and
Suzanne,
eczema.
My kids had asthma and allergies. They had shots. Hannah's on her 4th year of shots. Yeah. My son's lung collapsed at birth, and then he had asthma his whole life. And if you're a parent and you're up at night doing breathing treatments, every 2 hours and you're terrified. I can't believe this didn't exist.
And that's what Jaime said. She said that a lot of these kids are off their breathing treatments because of coming into there.
So their parents are sleeping. So if you're a parent and you want sleep, get here.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
So we end every show with a mantra because we really believe that if you keep repeating the same thing over and over again, that it really will kind of help it get into.
This is temporary. I will heal. And I am telling you, I have said that every day for 2.5 years, and I am healing. And I know for some of you saying, well, yeah, but it's stage this cancer, stage 4 cancer, stage 2 cancer, it's autoimmune disorder, it's never going to heal. But one of the things that I can tell you, 20 years sitting on a couch as a therapist, the one thing you can depend on in life is change. Conditions change, the level changes, you can feel better. There's good days and bad days. This is temporary, and for many of the things like a blood clot that you wouldn't think you could heal, you actually were able to heal it. So some things you will be surprised that you do heal, and some things you'll find ways to cope, like the salt suite that might make you feel so much better that you feel like you're not suffering anymore. So this is temporary. I will heal.
And for my blood clot, my vein is permanently blocked. It will never heal. But what happened with my body, and the doctor was amazed, is after doing yoga for several years, my body started to build other veins around the clot.
Its own bypass.
And that is what supports my leg. It is the craziest thing. Like everyone's like, what? But that is, your body is amazing and can do amazing things. If you believe in it, if you treat it well, it's really about mind over medicine.
You created your own bypass surgery. Created a bypass. No, that's what it did. It created its own bypass. It's amazing.
All right,
so we have lots of people to thank.
Yes, lots of people to thank.
Jaime from Salt Suite, thank you so much. This is amazing. We're so grateful and honored. We're thanking you. We're thanking you, Jaime, for having us. This is so wonderful. Thank you, thank you for being here.
We love your space. It is so beautiful. And she's a gator, so there's that.
Yes, absolutely, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank Periwinkle.
We have to thank Periwinkle for the clothes, Hamilton
Jewelers
for the jewelry. We want to thank Bruce, Jaggers. I never say your name right. Bruce, our director extraordinaire, who is just amazing and always on top of things. We want to thank Gene, our videographer, for his creative ability, his editing, his commercial production. He's done it all. Steph, thank you so much, our executive producer, who has so many great ideas and fills in all the blanks on our content. And Brendan, our IT guy, who does make sure we are up streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So if we see you, then that is the reason.
And our amazing audience, which has just been growing and growing and growing. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here.
And I do want to thank Lori Rex as well, who is our new sales director. And if you want an episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You at your location, call Lori.
Absolutely. She is a mover and a shaker.
All right.
Thanks.
And don't forget to sign up for our email newsletter on our What Your Friends Won't Tell You website. It's WYFWTY.com. You can go subscribe to our mailing list right there. And don't forget to share our videos, like our page. We are everywhere on social media: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, podcast, you name it, we are there. So follow us on social media, and don't forget to go share and like and comment on our videos. That is the greatest gift you can give us. Thank you for watching What Your Friends Won't Tell You, and for joining us on this Friday afternoon. We hope you have an amazing weekend. Thank you guys. Bye. All right, so we're going to stick around for just a couple more minutes and see if anyone from our audience here has any questions for us, or for Jaime.
Lily.
What is your next
When's our next on location show?
We don't know yet. We have a couple of things up in the air, so we haven't set an exact date yet, but I suspect it will be within the next week or so. Yes, so we'll let you know where that's going to be. We have a lot of people interested. We just haven't come up with a date yet. Yeah.
I know. That's my
Exactly.
niece. That's my niece. Any questions that have to do with health or what the topic was or anything psychological or anything about the show? Suzanne? Anyone?
We're here every day. So
Okay.
how do you feel breathing that salt coming out of that room?
Feels good. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I can't. She's right next to the room, so I can't yet.
Bye, Maureen.
Oh, question back.
Anxiety or any kind of mental issues that interfere with this therapy?
Say that again.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Oh.
The anxiety or stress can we help? And the room is loaded with negative ions. So we have a book in the back that I prove to people negative ions are real. Oh, hi. Thanks. So negative ions are really dense in the room. So negative ions are also created by waterfalls, trees. You feel good when you walk in nature. So salt is also of the earth. So right, you're getting that effect. So people come out of there in like what we call a salt fog. They're very relaxed. So yes, by relaxing in there, we don't make any claims or promises, but absolutely very relaxing, detoxifying too, and it helps people sleep. A lot. Helps with sleep apnea, snoring. My husband's not here, so I can tell you, the night he changes my filters, he doesn't snore.
Really?
Wow, that's powerful.
Back of the day.
That is a fun fact. Anybody else? Oh, Tanya. Tanya had a question.
I was just wondering if you have any feedback for someone who might have a terminal diagnosis.
So I have one of the people that I was shouting out to, I think kind of feels that way. And it was really powerful because I've known him a long time and I've never really known him necessarily to be kind of high on life. But he went through this crisis and he had surgery and he still has cancer and it's pretty high level. But I saw him on the side of the road and I kind of flagged him down and I hadn't seen him in a little while since the cancer diagnosis. And I stopped to give him a hug, and he was the happiest guy I'd ever seen. And what he said is kind of like the country song, Live Like You Were Dying. He said, every day is a gift, and I am celebrating every day. And I thought that was it just really impacted me so powerfully that for all of us, none of us know when our last day is really. We all kind of live the illusion that we know. So to live like that, to have a diagnosis like this, and to be able to have that attitude was amazing to me. I don't think everybody can do that, but definitely to embrace every day. It's a good message for all of us, right?
Yeah. It's funny, our chief meteorologist at CBS 12, his wife, first of all, it's John Matthews and Lori Matthews, and John Matthews is exactly what you would in person, what he is on camera. He is just the nicest, sweetest, kindest man you've ever met. And his wife is always upbeat and always happy and never seems like she's having a bad day. And she got a horrible diagnosis several years ago, and it was a melanoma that spread to her lungs. Well, I think at that point they basically say, your chance of survival is very low. And she is still living today, and she looks better than ever. She beat it. She went through some experimental treatment. But it just goes to show you, her attitude about it the whole time was, I'm fine, I'm gonna beat this, I'm okay, I got this, and it really did, when I saw that, it just made me really believe that you can heal yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't. Your attitude can really help heal yourself.
Yeah.
And with faith.
Yeah.
With faith, I've seen people go through incredible things here and recover from things like stage 4 cancer.
Yeah. With
not only faith in a higher power or however you see it, the faith of your circle, your group, your support system, knowing that people have your back and love you, it's extremely powerful.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It is.
Anybody else? Questions, comments?
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you so
Alex.
much. Thank
you. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, Jean. Thanks, Steph. Thanks, Brendan.
Thanks, you
Lori.
guys. Thanks, Lori.
Are we done? Are we out?